You've come so far, and now others try to drag you backward. After all these years, after all the sacrifices, joys, and battles you've fought, you finally thought you'd earned a little peace, a little breathing room, a life where the burdens would finally be yours to choose, not ones placed on your shoulders without consent. But today, it's different. Your phone rings. Another message appears, another request, another demand wrapped in sweet words or subtle guilt. Can you help me just this once? You're the only one I can count on. You have to, your family. And once again you feel it, the old weight slipping onto your back, the weight you never chose. You try to shake it off, you reason with yourself. Maybe it's just one favor, one small thing, but deep inside you know better. One favor becomes a pattern. One yes becomes 1,000 silent expectations. One sacrifice becomes a lifetime of invisible chains. You sip your coffee slowly, staring at the steam rising like little ghosts from the cup. The house is quiet, but inside your mind a storm brews. You're not just being asked for your time, your energy, your resources. You're being asked for your peace. And that is a price you cannot afford. A memory drifts back. You as a child rowing a tiny boat on a slow-moving lake. At first, the oars felt light, the motion playful. But after a while, each pull grew heavier, each stroke harder. You realized it wasn't just the weight of the boat. It was the invisible weight of trying to move something that wasn't meant to be moved alone. You were just a child then, but the lesson planted itself deep, and somehow you forgot, until now. Now the echoes return, loud and clear. You are not a lifeboat. You are not an endless source. You are not here to carry everyone else while your own spirit sinks deeper into exhaustion. Your heart beats steadily as you sit there, the realization growing stronger with every passing second. This was never yours to carry. The demands, the guilt, the never-ending expectations, they don't belong to you. They never did. And for the first time in a long time, you let yourself acknowledge that truth without flinching, without apology. A whisper rises from somewhere deep inside, steady and unshakable. It's time to draw the line. They come running when it rains, but where are they when the sun returns? You know the pattern too well by now. The sudden messages when someone's in crisis, the urgent calls when someone needs a rescue, the heartfelt confessions, the promises to repay you, emotionally, financially, or with gratitude, that vanish as soon as the storm clears. You were always the umbrella, always the safe haven, always the one who, without thinking, opened your heart, your wallet, your time, to shield others from the downpour. But here's the truth they never acknowledged. While they ran off dry and smiling when the clouds parted, you were left standing there, soaked and forgotten. You remember times you lent money that was never returned, times you cancelled your own plans to solve problems you didn't create, times you absorbed anger, tears and blame that were never truly yours. And you told yourself, this is love, this is family, this is friendship. But now you see more clearly. It wasn't love, it was convenience, it was dependency masked as affection. You picture yourself like an ATM, someone people approach only when they need a withdrawal. No check-ins, no care, no investment, only expectations. And every transaction cost you something deeper, your energy, your peace, your sense of self-worth. The memories flash like quick cuts from an old film. The sibling who only calls when they need a loan, the friend who disappears once their crisis is over, the grown child who believes your sacrifices should never have limits. You sit back and let the images wash over you without anger, without bitterness, only with clarity. The realization stings, but also strengthens you. This isn't what real love looks like. Real love doesn't treat people like lifeboats or vending machines. Real love shows up when it's sunny too, not just when the storms rage. You take a breath, feeling something inside shift, settle, harden in the best way. You are not an endless resource. You are not an emotional ATM. You are not an umbrella meant to be tossed aside after the rain. You deserve relationships built on mutual respect, not silent expectations. You deserve to be valued in the calm, not just in the chaos. For the first time, you hear your own voice rise up inside you, firm and clear. Next time I choose me first. Guilt is the chain they wrap around your heart. You don't even realize it at first. It comes softly, disguised as concern, wrapped in the familiar voices of people you love. They say things like, "But after everything we've done for you," or If you really cared, you would help. Or the most cutting of all, you've changed. You're not who you used to be. And just like that, the chain tightens. Not around your body, but around your heart, your spirit, your right to choose your own peace. You replay it all in your mind, the countless times you said yes when every fiber of your being wanted to say no. The sleepless nights spent worrying about problems that weren't yours to fix. The hollow, aching feeling afterward, knowing you gave away pieces of yourself not out of joy, but out of guilt. You wonder when it started. Was it the first time you put someone else's happiness above your own? The first time you silenced your needs to avoid disappointing someone? The first time you swallowed your no because you couldn't bear to carry their sadness? And you realized something profound. Guilt was never proof of love. Guilt was proof of manipulation. Proof that somewhere along the line, love got twisted into obligation. You think back to moments when someone's tears became a weapon, when someone's silence became a punishment, when someone's disappointment became a leash around your freedom. And you see it clearly now. It was never about love, it was about control. Real love doesn't chain you. Real love doesn't make you responsible for someone else's happiness at the expense of your own. Real love stands beside you, not on top of you. You sit quietly for a moment, letting the realization sink deep into your bones. And with it comes a strange kind of mourning, not for the relationships themselves, but for all the times you betrayed yourself trying to preserve them. You deserve better. You always did. And from this moment on, you promise yourself, real love doesn't demand you lose yourself. No more being the lifeline when it costs you your soul. No more letting guilt script your life. No more shrinking so others can feel bigger. You exhale slow and steady, feeling the first link of that old chain snap free. You whisper into the silence, not in anger, but in liberation. No more being the lifeline. Saying no doesn't make you cruel. It makes you free. It's a lesson you were never taught but had to carve out of hard experience. Every time you said yes against your will, a little part of you crumbled. Every time you swallowed your truth to preserve someone else's comfort, you disappeared a little more. But now, standing here, you realize something simple yet revolutionary. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is sacred. It is survival. Today the phone rings again, another familiar voice, another plea masked as a request. Can you help me? Just this once. You close your eyes and listen, not to them, but to yourself. And what you hear is clear, steady, powerful. No. Not because you don't care, not because you want to punish or hurt anyone, but because you finally understand that you matter too. You pick up the phone, breathe deeply, and answer without anger. Your voice is calm, firm, unshaking. I'm sorry. I can't do that for you. At first, there's silence on the other end. Maybe even shock, maybe frustration, maybe guilt thrown your way like a dart. But you don't waver. You don't justify, argue, or apologize. Because you no longer owe anyone an explanation for choosing your peace. You hang up the phone gently, feeling your heartbeat slow, your muscles unclench. The world doesn't collapse. No one dies because you said no. And in that quiet space, you realize how much you were afraid of a storm that never even came. You stand straighter, you feel lighter, and a small smile curves at the corner of your mouth, because you understand now, protecting my peace is my sacred duty. It's not betrayal to set boundaries. It's loyalty to yourself. It's respect for everything you've lived through to get here. It's love, the kind you should have given yourself all along. As you walk toward the window, watching the sunlight pour in, a deep exhale escapes your chest. Not a sigh of defeat, but a breath of new beginnings. You whisper to yourself, barely louder than the breeze, I can breathe again. Peace isn't found by pleasing others. It's found by choosing yourself. You wake up to a different kind of morning. No buzzing phone demanding your attention. No heavy feeling in your chest anticipating the next favor you'll be asked for. Just sunlight filtering softly through the curtains and the slow, steady rhythm of your own breath. It feels almost unfamiliar at first. This quiet, this stillness. Like stepping into a spacious room after years of living cramped and hunched in a corner. You stretch, you smile. You let yourself linger in the silence without rushing to fill it. Throughout the day, you notice small things you had forgotten how to savor. The taste of your coffee, rich and full, unspoiled by worry. The way the breeze carries the scent of blooming trees through your open window. The feeling of walking at your own pace, not hurrying for anyone, not racing against demands that were never truly yours. This is what peace feels like. Not a grand, sweeping event, but a quiet unfolding. A subtle shift from tension to ease, from survival to living. You realize now that saying no wasn't the end of anything important. It was the beginning of something extraordinary, reclaiming your life. You think about the times you said yes out of guilt, fear, or obligation, how each one chipped away at your spirit, how each one delayed this very moment of simple, radiant freedom. And you forgive yourself. You didn't know better then, but you do now. You've learned that peace doesn't demand apologies. It doesn't require explanation. It simply asks to be chosen, again and again. Sitting by the window, you close your eyes for a moment and listen, really listen, to the life humming all around you. Not the noise of demands or expectations, but the quiet music of your own being. And for the first time in what feels like forever, you don't feel pulled or pushed. You feel rooted, whole, enough. You open your eyes, feeling a lightness you haven't felt in years, maybe decades. The world outside moves on, busy, chaotic, noisy, but inside, you are an island of calm. A thought rises gently, tender and true. This is what I was missing all along. And as you breathe in the fresh, clean air of your reclaimed life, another truth settles warmly in your chest. I deserve this peace. Your peace is priceless. Guard it fiercely. You walk slowly through the park this morning, the sun climbing steadily above the treetops. The world hums with quiet life, children laughing in the distance, birds weaving songs through the air, leaves rustling softly with each gentle breeze. And you move through it all with an ease you once only dreamed about. No rushing, no worrying about how others will perceive you, no bending yourself into shapes that don't fit just to make someone else comfortable, because now you know. Your peace is not a luxury. It's not a favor someone else grants you. It's a treasure you guard with unwavering devotion. You remember who you used to be, the one always available, always accommodating, always exhausted. You send that past version of yourself a silent prayer of gratitude. They carried you here, even if it was through trial and error. They survived so you could thrive. You feel the strength in your spine, the steadiness in your step. You no longer second-guess your boundaries. You no longer explain your choices to those who don't deserve an audience. You no longer apologize for living a life that honors your own heart. Protecting your peace has become a sacred practice, not through anger, not through isolation, but through love. Love for the life you fought for, the life you finally get to live on your own terms. In your mind's eye, you see it clearly, a small luminous pearl resting in the palm of your hand. Smooth, bright, pure, fragile yet impossibly strong. That pearl is your peace, your joy, your hard-won freedom. You curl your fingers gently around it, not to hide it, but to honor it, to remind yourself that no one, no request, no guilt trip, no manipulation is worth losing it again. You walk onward, sunlight painting a golden trail ahead of you. The world can clamor and spin and shout all it wants, but inside you remain unshaken, unbothered, free, because you know now, without doubt, my life, my terms, my peace. And just like the river that flows forever forward, never stopping, never asking permission, the river flows freely, and so do you. The pearl rests quietly in your hand, glimmering with the soft promise of everything you've reclaimed. Peace, once distant and fragile, now breathes steadily within you, a living testament to every choice you made to protect it. True strength, you realize, isn't in how much you carry for others, but in how tenderly you hold your own soul. Perhaps today is another chance to honor the life you've built, to guard it fiercely, and to walk forward with the calm certainty that your peace is worth everything.